Hello, I'm Camila Ramos from Conner Prep High School in Jersey City, New Jersey. I am participating in the fashion design category, Level 3. Today I'm going to present my project, Kara. The idea behind my designer label is to take classic evening wear and to give it a unique twist. These bold new looks, along with their rich color scheme, make any woman stand out in a crowd, and they're excellent choices for the red carpet, along with any special formal event. The name Kara comes from combining my first and last name. I thought it was a perfect name for my brand, as it not only sounds sophisticated and elegant, it also has a double meaning, since in Spanish, cara means expensive. The inspiration first came from the nostalgia of playing with Barbie dolls. This label subtly honors my dearest friend, who always encouraged me when I was little to chase my dreams and to keep on designing. The classic silhouettes with a unique twist are inspired by the bold shapes of collector dolls. I elevated this idea with inspiration from celebrities and rich lifestyles. Luxury clothes, accessories, fancy cars, and lavish parties influenced the original simple concept. The colors reflect this. They are rich and jewel toned to catch the eye and to give a sense of royalty and class. This collection is meant to strike the same wonder and inspiration that came from dressing up dolls in their finest clothes and having them strut on an imaginary runway, but with the added sophistication and glamour of real-world fashion. Kara caters to a target audience of young women ages 20 to 45 who make a salary of $80,000 and above. These women have elegant, bold styles, and they appreciate fine quality garments. They also live in fast-paced urban areas like New York and California, where the fashion scene is always changing. I spent time designing garments and going over them with my teacher until we decided on the final four. After deciding on my label, I researched stores that carry similar brands to the one I created, like Moda Operandi, Bergdorf Goodman, and Neiman Marcus. I select prices for my garments based off of real ones that were made using the same material and around the same amount of fabric my garments will require. I put all of this information and research I have gathered into my portfolio. I wrote on my planning process sheet that when I first started this project, I was nervous about creating a line of garments that was cohesive and fit the look I was going for. I was also nervous about creating this dress, as it would have been the most complex one I've ever created. But as you can see, I got over my initial fear and I brought my design to life. The garment from my line I decided to create is outfit number 1. It is a tiered ball gown with a V-neck and a corset detail midriff made in Duchess satin. There were a few difficulties with this garment. Not only did it require hours of patience sewing on the tiers, simply draping the patterns was a challenge, but I learned a lot with this dress. I learned about stay stitching and the difference it can make in a garment, and I also learned how to sew boning channels and cups, which made me also practice my tiny invisible stitches. I selected Duchess satin for my collection because I didn't want a fabric like charmeuse or Messaline satin, because while they have a very lovely drape, they're too lightweight for what I had in mind. Duchess satin has more weight to it, while still draping quite nicely. I also preferred the low luster of Duchess satin to the high shine of standard ones. I feel it looks more elegant. I had consulted my professional seamstress friend who works at Armani, and after speaking with her, I decided to hem my garment the way they do with their satin garments, using woolly serger thread to do a rolled hem on all the tiers. I had used the technique before, and neither had to use basting stitches instead of chalk to mark my fabric. And not only was it neater to use and easier than using chalk, it just also was really cool using the technique professional seamstresses use in couture ateliers. Family and consumer science has played a big part in my learning process and project. It made me more aware of budgeting and finances and how to balance my wants and my needs. Of course, I wanted to use more luxurious fabric to make my dress, but I had to be realistic. I am a teenager with a low budget, so I needed to sacrifice that want for buying affordable fabric so that I had enough money to buy all the notions I needed. I also had to be considerate of my family, that I wasn't taking up too much space or leaving too much of a mess everywhere. The skills I learned from family and consumer science will help me in the future when I go out shopping. It taught me to pay attention to detail, to think critically about what I buy. These skills will help me when I become a professional designer and I have to make wise decisions based on budget and balancing wants versus needs. It's my goal to ultimately own my own label and atelier. Currently, I major in fashion at County Prep, where I can learn and get more experience before even going to university. I have interned with the local seamstress before, and with her, I've gained a lot of real-world knowledge and experience dealing with customers and working in a fast-paced environment. Not only do I learn from my local seamstress though, I also have a friend who is a professional seamstress at Armani, so I take every opportunity I can get to drill her for any advice, tips, and tricks that she can give me. After I graduate from high school, I want to attend either the Fashion Institute of Technology or Parsons so that I can get a degree in fashion design. I plan on interning throughout college and afterwards to not only gain even more experience and knowledge, but to build up a network. After college, I would like to work in a major fashion house like Armani, and once I have gained enough experience and built up a network of talented people, I would like to start my own label of clothing and accessories. Now, any questions? What is one skill that I learned or improved on during my project that I will use it in school next year or in my future career? As I said in my planning process, I learned the importance of taking my time when working. I was rushing and I got sloppy, so I had to redo all the work I had done before to do it correctly, wasting a lot of time since I had to basically sew the garment twice now. I've learned how necessary all the little steps are, like pinking my seams, serging my hems, using basting stitches to make sure everything lines up perfectly, and using the correct thread tension when sewing because it makes a big difference in how your fabric lays. I will definitely remember what I had learned over the course of this project so that for my future career, all my work will be precise and well made, not sloppy or amateurish. What obstacles caused challenges in my work and how did I address them? A major obstacle that caused a challenge was finding the inspiration for my brand. I spent a long time thinking and sketching and coming up with ideas that didn't go anywhere until I started thinking about my own personal experiences. Then my imagination had taken flight and I had to whittle down which designs to use out of the 20 I had come up with. For your information, it was pretty hard. I liked them all. Then, once I decided which garment I would create, I struggled with figuring out how to recreate the Gabe bust I had drawn in my finished illustration. I had draped muslin over my dress form countless times until I finally asked my seamstress friend to give me some advice. She pointed me in the right direction and then I was able to take off and sew the garment in a matter of days. I learn a lot from the challenges I face with each garment I create. So I simply take these difficulties, overcome them, and use them as a lesson to do even better on my next project.